Hey there, I'm Eric Tennant, and this is the BougeRV 200 watt 24 volt bifacial solar panel. It is definitely one of the more advanced solar panels out there. It comes with 16 bus bars, and what this does for you, if there's any kind of damage to the panel, these bus bars allow for it to bypass and continue on. It also allows for the electrons to move more smoothly. The bifacial part of it allows the panel to be able to collect from either side and gather light. So if there's, say, a light surface on the back side or something reflective, it was able to gather more at that point. As you can see, my computer monitor is shining right through the thing in the middle there. I'm gonna take my flashlight, show you guys just how transparent this is. You can see right through them. And what the N-type on the panel means is basically they infuse the silicone with a phosphorus mix to allow the electrons to be able to more freely travel through this. Well, basically what all this word salad breaks down to is over the P-type, the N-type has about 5 more years of performance out of it. This also makes it a very resilient panel, and it's able to operate from -40 Fahrenheit to temperatures of 185 Fahrenheit, which it's almost like oven temperatures there. One of the cool things about this solar panel is it's two 100 watt solar panels joined together. You can actually see the separation here in the middle. And this gives it a little bit of shade tolerance, which is a definite plus. Anytime you go to park, a branch shade's one of the things you don't want to cut into production. So instead it'll cut into like 50% of your production. And this panel is a lot smaller than your traditional panels because it's 25% efficiency. It is 30.5 inches wide by almost 51 inches long, which is quite a bit smaller. And here's all the technical specs for anybody that's interested. All right, let's get this solar panel outside and I'm gonna put it to a real world test. Okay, so this is the test rig I'll be using. Basically the solar panel will plug in here. It'll go through an MPPT that is designed for the battery. And in here is the Victron shunt. I just have it heat shrinked for protection. And it connects into a custom 48 volt, 40 amp hour battery I built. Except I want to change one thing with it. A lot of people don't actually measure the efficiency of the solar panel. They're actually measuring, well, the solar panel and the efficiency of their MPPT. So to rectify that, pretty much I'm just going to sit the meter on the solar side before it goes through the controller, so I get more of a baseline reading of the solar panel, not the efficiency of this. Even though these are highly efficient at like a 99.7%. Oh dear, I went into my backyard and I realized nature's kind of taking over here, so I need a clear spot for this test a little bit right there, unfortunately. Yeah, I probably should buy a new weed whacker, because that's how this ends up happening. That's definitely better. I mean, it's not perfect, but at least I don't have weeds that are almost as tall as me. That's funny, I took all this time to get it set up here, and then there's a shadow sitting right here across my panel. Let's go ahead and see what it's at before I move it here. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and open up the Victron app. And yeah, it says solar trailer, guys. I built a solar trailer that goes on the back of my e-bike. It's usually what this device is used for. Nice, and even with the shadow across that part, it says it's pulling 124 watts. Of course, my arm blocked it there. All right, I got it moved back now, and I got it producing 156 watts. We're sitting at 12:38 in January right now, so not the best sun. It is Phoenix, Arizona, so it is pretty good sun. So nice, that's 78%. That's really good during January. Okay, now I want to do a little bit of a shade tolerance test to it, just to kind of demonstrate how much shade resistance it does have to it. So nice, I laid across a piece of cardboard there and another piece there, just kind of simulate like maybe a branch with a really fat pigeon sitting on it. And the panel's still collecting 82 watts, which is highly impressive. So the next thing I want to do, I want to try it on the upper part, because I know from experience, if you shade that upper part, it usually would kill out like 70 to 80% of your production just by having a small corner up there on the top. Decent, and pretty much the same performance difference. Let's try putting this one a little bit more equal to how I had the other one. like that, if I can get it to stay up here. Okay, even better, 92. So it definitely has good shade resistance between the two panels, and it has, and the way it's able to do this is it has bypass diodes. So when something goes wrong, it's able to bypass and still deliver the volts and the ampage to you. I'm highly impressed with that. Something else I want to try with this, because it's a bifacial panel, I don't actually see many people do this, is I'm going to flip this panel around upside down, and I'm going to see how much watts it still collects. Yeah, I mean, it could change a little bit. I mean, the sun's trying to go behind my house, so I got to get this test done real quick. Okay, I tried to minimize the amount of impact the wire actually has on the cells. So I'm really curious about this. How much is this panel generating upside down? Oh, wow. Okay, so 93 watts. Let's see if I can clean that up a little bit here. 51. Oh, I definitely cut into its production there. Trying to minimize the amount of shade that is on there. Well, got it up to 99 watts. That's really cool, guys. From the back side, it's generating like that. And it is a little weird how the wires, you would have to get it perfectly down that bus bar, and then you'd probably be able to get the 156 out of it again. Nice, took a piece of grass that was shading the bottom off. Now we're sitting at 104. One of the reasons it's not getting the full amount is because right there, the rim is actually shading the bottom cells there, which is cutting into the production. Also on the side over there, you get a little bit of shade. This is cool that you can get extra 104 watts. So, I mean, technically you could, I mean, if you had enough mirrors, you may be able to drive this thing closer to like a 300. I don't know. I'm gonna try another test. For that, I need to go grab my wife's mirror. Ah, shoot. See, you go by a few minutes and it's already shading the panel again. Got to move it over. 152 watts. Yeah, I mean, I don't think this is a big enough surface to actually reflect enough back onto it. Yeah, there we go. I reflected onto the front. I got it to boost up. Yeah, I'm able to go up to 155 watts just by hitting the sun ray across it. I mean, that's really hard on that to get it to go on the back side there. So yeah, I'm gonna have to say you would have to have a white RV roof or some kind of white rocks underneath. You can even have like a reflective surface. But it definitely boosts the performance these panels have. I've seen on different tests where people were able to get over 100% pulling like 203, 204 watts. So do another test. I'm gonna just stand this straight up. This is one of the concept ways of setting up a solar panel so it would be able to pick up the sun from east to west. Of course, I'm in the winter right now, so this is all pointing south. Just kind of curious how much solar it would pick up in this angle. It's actually gaining more energy in this position. I'm finding I'm getting 157. See if we can max this out to just by manually holding it. 170, 180, 184. Oh, these are really good numbers. 187. Not too sure if I can do better on 187. That's pretty much the angle right there of the sun right now. 188. Oh, these are excellent numbers. 188. Nice. Yep, 188. Top pull off of it. I'm gonna go ahead and flip it around now and see how much we're gonna get in the vertical position. Just curious, really. So pulling about 158, 160 that direction. Let's go around the other way. Nice. And this direction, I mean, it's not gaining quite as much. Like I said, the wires would have to be across that center bus bar, but it's pulling 103 watts. So that's awesome. You'd be able to set this up vertically in certain situations and use it pretty much like a perimeter fence. You can usually hook up about 4 of these into series to be able to boost your voltage if you're looking for a higher voltage. The higher your voltage you have through the wires, the thinner the wires. Basically, you can save yourself a lot of money on copper by having higher voltage. 12 volts, oh man, you need to end up having some massive wires to be able to carry any kind of voltage. So I usually tend to steer away from the 12 volts. That's why I like this 24 volt setup. Nice, and 188 watts ends up giving this thing a 94%, which is awesome, especially in January. With this panel, you're not just buying from some random Chinese company that's not going to be around tomorrow. BougeRV has a standing reputation. It comes with a 10-year warranty and a 30-year performance warranty, which is crazy. I don't even know if I'll be around in 30 years. And at the price of $169.99, that puts this solar panel around the range of 85 cents per watt, which is more than killer. I mean, that's better than my roof solar that I bought a 16 kilowatt system on and didn't get that good of a deal with. If you're looking to buy the BougeRV Bifacial 200 watt panel, it comes in 24 volt, 12 volt, and 100 watt 12 volt. And you can use the link down below. That'll direct you to the BougeRV site, and I make a little bit of commission then. And for any of you watching at home on your TV, you can use this QR code over here. It could be over here too. And stay tuned to my channel. I'll be using this solar panel here to be able to power this whole studio, backed up of course by a battery. I want to thank everybody for watching. Until next time, you'll see me. So anybody that's thinking that I should put this on the back of my solar trailer, not a bad thought. I do definitely like the small footprint it has. However, the panel I will be upgrading my panel with is 7 pounds, and this one right here is 22.3 pounds. So once the time I added all the adaptation racking and everything onto it, I wouldn't have any weight allowance left to be able to pull my trailer. So these rigid panels are definitely good for houses, trailers. Some of them more power than an e-bike, for sure.